Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chant A Psalm A. I'm here in my office this day on a Sunday. Yeah, I'm in my office, and here, let's see. Yeah, how is everyone out there? Some reason, I heat up my tea in the microwave, and I had the cover on. I should have taken it off, but the plastic burnt up in there, and now my cup smells like burnt. I can't even drink this tea. It doesn't smell right. So I can't even drink this. I gotta throw this whole cup away. Anyway.
Nice cup.
What's that?
It's a nice cup. You have to throw it away.
Yeah, it is a nice cup. See? My friend says it's a nice cup. But yeah, I burnt it in the microwave, and I didn't realize that we have a faucet. We have a water fountain that can pour out hot water. We can pour hot water out of there. So I now that I know that all this had to happen, so now I know I can get hot water from that faucet, that little water fountain. It has hot and cold. So my cup is over. So I plug the microwave out, and I'm gonna plug it back in because I had to. I hope it's not broken. So I'm in my office early because I have to get some stuff done today. And today is Sunday. So happy Sunday, everyone. And I'm tired and exhausted. And, when I looked at the Psalm today, I looked at the Psalm today, and I said, wow, this is really what's going on in the world. Like, this is what's happening. And it's interesting because of, oh my goodness, I just drank some of that burnt plastic. It's making me, anyway, it's toxic, I think. But thanks for joining Chant A Psalm A and tuning in. A lot of people come on and ask me if I'm from India. So Siddhartha Dodla, thank you so much for your question, asking me that. I do have ancestry from India. Okay, my mother. That's where that comes from. So you're very observant, Siddhartha Dudla. You're probably picking up where we have a familiar family, right? But anyway, it's really cold. And I'm starting the psalm today. Hello, Coffee. Who's Coffee? AA, and Rob. Okay. Hello, Coffee. I don't drink coffee. I'm a tea person. So my tea burnt. Bottom line, my tea burnt. So the part of India that my mother's father, he came from, is in the Bombay area, the city area. However, they're from the fishing villages. Fish, was the source of food for my mom's, family from India. And India is a very huge, very diverse populations. They got people in India that speaks languages that are different from, other regions. And I don't live in India. No, I am in a freezing cold USA. Yeah, I'm in the USA, and it's freezing. I'm on the tip of the eastern part of the US. So I come and I chant the psalm. So thank you for liking this video. Thank you for tuning in. I do have an accent. Yes, I do. Like we all do. We all have accents, right? So the accents that we have sometimes change changes words. Like for example, where I grew up in the Virgin Islands, yes, in the Virgin Islands, there's certain places where I grew up, the names have changed over the years because the accent, when people come and record or document the island, they learn from the inhabitants of the island, and the inhabitants may have an accent. So the people documenting may write the word or the name of a place differently and based on that accent that people speak. So that's interesting that I'm talking about this, because now I'm going into the psalm today, and the psalm today is 74, and it's talking about leaving people alone. Let righteousness be the let that be the defense. You don't have to take on things, and I'm learning that. Okay, I had to learn that today. This rise, when I tried to take on something and fell, hurt my knee. Good thing I have my precious oil, my healing oil, my miracle oil, because I rubbed it on my knee and the swelling is coming down and it's feeling a lot better. It's like, so yeah, learning how to let go and let the Most High, that is righteousness, mercy, love, kindness, take things and take care. Okay. So, Siddhartha Dodla, you have relatives in Chicago? Okay. Okay. I am not, I'm on the eastern part of the USA. So if you look at the US, right? I look like Janet Jackson. Oh, no, I don't. Thank you, Siddhartha. I don't. People say all Black people look alike, but no, we have distinct features. And Janet Jackson, it's interesting you say that, because people say my son looks like Bruno Mars. Everywhere he goes, people think he looks like Bruno Mars. So, but here we go with the psalm today. It is about not reacting to negativity, not reacting and not being a puppet on a string for someone that pulls you into getting upset about what they didn't do or did do. Oh, excuse me. See, I need my hot tea. You know what? I have a cup. I think I have a cup in here. I can put. Hold on, everyone. Yeah, I took the cups out of here I had. Okay, I found a cup. I found a plastic cup I had in here, like a paper cup, like a hot cup. And I have my tea bag, and I'm putting it in there. Oh, this isn't good anymore. So I'm gonna pour it in here. Yeah, that smells awful. The cup isn't damaged, it just smells very awful. So hopefully this one might work a little. I found this tea bag. I always put tea bags in my pocketbook, and so I can have hot tea. And this is an example of I always find a way. Okay, the tea burnt, the cup is ruined. I found another cup, right? Took the tea bag that I had in, put it in there, and I'm having something hot in my tummy. It's always good to have something hot in your tummy as when you get up. So let's get into the psalm today. I ask that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart is acceptable in the sight of what is right, what is kind and good and positive. So here we go. And I need some lotion on my hands. Ooh. It's about, let's look at the degrees. It's about 40 degrees, but it feels like 29. And my body has gotten used to this kind of weather. But it's, for somebody who isn't used to it, it's going to be freezing, So, whew. Psalm 74 begins with, "Oh God." And when we define God, we're talking about good, forgiving, kind, merciful, compassion. I don't know what the word of the day is today, but I'll have to find what that word is today. But God is defined in all these different ways. And there's a question. The psalm begins with a question. Why am I cast off? Like, why do I have to be battling with my son? Why does these things have to happen? Why am I have to, why? It's a why. How come this isn't coming on? Okay, let's see. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, so it's the why. It's a why. We question stuff. Why does these things have to happen? So and the first verse is about anger. Okay, anger. And the anger against the sheep of the pasture. Remember I talked about that the other day about the shepherd, the good shepherd, and we are the sheep. So we have to be careful, because the sheep, we don't want to be led to the slaughterhouse. So there's an anger that's smoking against the sheep of the pasture, and that's a question. It's like asking why. Why do people have to be angry and negative and disrespectful, and all these things? Why does this have to happen? In verse 2 we have that the remembrance, to remember the gathering of people that have been purchased from such time ago, like that has been redeemed to be the people of the heritage of righteousness, that you're gonna inherit goodness when you do good, when you seek after good. Hi Gabe. So we look at verse 2 as the first word is remember. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. And do not forget that you are righteousness and goodness and mercy, and push that narrative forward, So remembering who you are, where you've come from, and the place that has been dealt for you. In verse 3, where it's looking at directing our steps, you know, uh, and asking that righteousness to look at what's been happening, that look at the, go and step into these places that's being ruined all over in Palestine, in Gaza, in all, so wherever those places are today, I'm speaking of, um, that righteousness is going, is being summoned to go into these places of ruin, and where the enemy has destroyed these sanctuaries. Um, so in verse 4, it talks about the enemies, the foes. They have roared in the midst of these meeting places, these sanctuaries, setting up their own signs for signs. And how you interpret that is your interpretation. Setting up their own signs for signs, meaning that they're putting their own spin on it and making it look like it's a sign, right? In verse 5 now, um, it's describing these enemies and these foes. They were like those who swing axes in a forest of trees, right? We talked about that in Jeremiah chapter 10, people putting up Christmas trees and what that represents. The same thing that children of Israel were doing when they escaped, they were saved, and they still went into, worshiping idols. So in verse 6, it speaks of all is carved wood, and they can be broken down with hatchets and hammers. That's what has happened. The sanctuary has been set on fire in verse 7, and these enemies profaned the dwelling place of righteousness and bringing these places down to the ground. This is happening in the world today, okay? And speaking in verse 8, these enemies are speaking to themselves that they're going to utterly subdue folks, and they're going to burn all the meeting places of the most sacred place, righteousness in the land where people are trying to do good. This is happening today. And in verse 9, we do not see our signs. There's no longer any prophet, and there's none among us who knows how long. No, nobody knows. Verse 10, how long is the enemy to scoff? Is the enemy to revile the name of righteousness for all time? Like, when is this enemy going to stop? When is this disrespect going to stop? Why do you hold back? Why is righteousness being held back and wrongness is continuing to happen, right? And it's interesting because verse 11, the Psalm, David, who wrote the Psalm, is making a statement like, take it from the fold of your garment and destroy these enemies, these negativity, these quarrels, this divisiveness, these unkind and disrespectful ways, just get rid of it. So the psalmist is, requesting that to be done. So in verse 12, it speaks of yet this righteousness, this righteous goodness and mercy and love that is upheld as a king, righteousness is king, is from an ancient time. It's from anciency. And working for the good of the future in the midst of the earth. All things are working together for our good. So in verse 13, righteousness is, we're reminded that the seas were divided by that might of righteousness. Remember the parting of the Red Sea, that story, right? Believe it or not, I don't, it's you. but these are evidentiary experiences and stories that have been passed down. Well, however this has been translated, we got the King James Version, we got New International, we got all these versions. But it always points down to righteousness, and that's what God is. So that dividing the sea through the might of righteousness and breaking these sea monsters' heads in the waters, and these big leviathans and these creatures were giving as food for the creatures of the wilderness. And in verse 15, this splitting open springs and brooks, drying up ever-flowing streams. Verse 16, righteousness is the day. Righteousness is also the night, and righteousness has established the heavenly lights in the sun. All that's been established by the grace and goodness of righteousness of the Most High, right? And in verse 17, righteousness have fixed all the boundaries of the earth and have made summer and winter. Verse 18, remember this, O righteousness, how the enemy scoffs, and a foolish people reviles the name of righteousness. That's where it comes in, people fussing and going negative, scoffing. Verse 19, do not deliver the life of the dove to the wild beasts. Do not forget the life of the poor forever, right? That's not going to happen. That's why we have to be harmless as a dove, wise as a serpent, and harmless as a dove, because when you're harmless as a dove, you will be delivered from the wild beasts. So verse 20, have regard for the covenant, for the dark places of the land are full of the habitations of violence. This is what's happening out here today. People getting shot as they walk down the street. So we have to regard the covenant. And the covenant is basic, simple, do good. That's it. There's no big mystery about it. People preaching, people on YouTube talking, people, have their little, evangelistic, whatever, Christianity, whatever they, But when it comes down to it, all of it is about doing good to yourself so that you can end and look and do good to others. That's all it is about. All this other stuff that, is just noise. So arise, righteousness, and defend the cause of righteousness. Defend those who are doing good. Don't let those who are doing good suffer from negative people and from negative disrespect. Okay? Remember how the foolish scoff at righteousness all day. That's what the foolish does. Oh, you're doing good. You're cleaning. You're putting away stuff. You're, keeping things clean and tidy and, being kind and respectful and all this. The foolish scoff at that stuff. So in verse 23, it's like, do not forget the clamor of the foes. They're full of noise. Just a bunch of noise. That's why I'm not getting into any back and forth with anyone, especially with my son who I'm living with, who's living with me. I'm not living with him. He's living with me. And the level of respect has to be paramount to your own needs. Whatever it is you're dealing with, brother, I leave it right there to the Most High. That's why I leave it. Today, what is today? Today is December 8th. And we are the children of the 8th day. So we have to pick up ourselves and move in accordance. So at today, the 8th of December, I leave it. I'm done talking. I'm not going to talk about cleaning up nothing. I'm not going to talk about doing this. I'm not going to talk about doing that. I'm not going to talk about nothing. I'm done talking. I'm going to do. I'm going to do. And that's what the psalm is about today, because the uproar of those who rise against you, that goes up continually, you know. So do not forget the clamor of the foes who out there fussing, making noise, complaining, talking about it's too cold, it's too cold. Don't talk about it's too cold, it's too hot, it's too this, it's too that. Give thanks. That's what we need to do. I'm going to stop complaining about it's too cold. I'm going to stop. I'm not complaining about it's too cold again. I'm going to stop. I'm not complaining about nothing and what I'm lacking. I'm not. I rose up this rise and saw a beautiful sunrise. I mean, absolutely gorgeous sunrise. Okay? Let me show you all. This is the sunrise I woke up to. Yeah, some people are not seeing this. They're not seeing this. I woke up to this. Look at that. That is not beautiful. Yeah, I woke up to that. Yep, I woke up to that. And I went I drove, and this is what I'm in my office now. So I'm like 3 minutes away driving. Walking is like 20 minutes, but driving is faster. So I'm here to my office, and I had to stop on the road because this is what I saw. And I'm going to write a poem. The road might look rough now, but the sun will come up. The sun will rise. So I took a picture of that. This is it here again. My stomach is growling for food. See that? It's just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. So Selah and Selah again is the end of the psalm. I love it because it gives a good foundation and a good forward movement for what we're doing. And what we're doing is building relationship with the Most High, building that relationship. That is important, to build that relationship. So I wanted to, where is it? The word today and the verse of the day, actually, what is the word today? No. The word today is, let me see. Let me go to dailyword.com. So the word today, I go into dailyword.com and get the word of the day. So the word today, dailyword.com. Oh my goodness. The word today is peace. Peace. I need, oh my gosh, I need peace in my home. I need peace in where I need that. Thank you for the word today. Peace. I give the gift of peace. I have to give peace if I want it. That's why I fell this morning, because I wasn't giving that. I was trying to go give, slap someone upside their head. So I have to refrain from that. Mm-hmm. Some folks can test you to the limits. Um, my dog. I just want to make sure my dog is there. Yeah. So the word today is peace, and I instead of peace, I use the word tranquility. Tranquility. So tranquility. I begin the second week of Advent by affirming tranquility for myself and all beings and letting the tranquility of God flow through me. So we talk about the God flow all the time. The God flow, the God flow. What is that God flow? That God flow, we can kind of get away from it. I did this morning get away from it and got upset and wanted to go slap someone and slid on the carpet and fell, hurt my knee. Now I got the consequences of that. So yeah, I did that to my knee, and I'm not a young, 12-year-old, even 20-year-old or 30-year-old. So I have to be careful, and that was that sign for me to be careful. So a tranquil life does not mean isolation from noise or turmoil. A tranquil life means calm even in the middle of the hubbub. Okay? At this time of year, when so many seem busy and rushed, I rely on the tranquility of righteousness that resides within to promote calm in my home, in my life, and in the world. Prayer, right? Communication to righteousness strengthens a centeredness, strengthens you to be centered and relaxed, so I can be an instrument of love, holding thoughts of tranquility and affirming love in every heart. I move through the day, an Advent season, we're in Advent season, affirming kindness and compassion. Okay? I give the gift of love as I let that gift of love flow from my heart as ripples on a lake, sustaining each person in concentric circles of tranquility and goodwill. That's beautiful. And this word today is brought to us by Romans 15:33. The God of tranquility will be with all of you. Yes, I receive that. The God of tranquility will be with all of you. I receive that. That is wonderful. So, that is our word today. Selah and Selah again. And I wanted to look at the verse today really quick. Let's see our verse today. Our verse today is coming from John. We're in John again, 14, verse 6. So, verse 6 in John chapter 14. I am the way, and who is I? It depends on you, right? I and I, that righteousness that's inside, that's why it starts with I. So, when it talks about within, you that resides within, that love and tranquility of God resides within, that within is truth, and that's the life, and no one comes to that except through that righteousness. Okay, religion has created where you can't come through anything but by going through this man, hey, Sir Jiggy with it. But you have to not go outside of yourself to come to the goodness and the way and the truth and the life. You come through that through you, that's within you. Because when God lives within, that means that we have to be accountable. We have to self-reflect. We have to look at ourselves. Blessed greetings, Sir Jiggy with it. So when we talk about I am the way, when John talks about that, I am the way and the truth and the life, we're talking about Jesus. Okay. That's what we're talking about. What does Jesus mean? Jesus means righteousness. If you want to come to the Father, you got to go through righteousness. If you want to come to Jesus, you got to come right? Because that's what it represents. You're not going to be overindulgent. You're not going to be extreme to the point like Noah. When Noah was, got to where he was supposed to get to, he drank himself silly. So we don't want to be in these situations where we are using things to we're using things that give us this false narrative, right? And then our bodies are deteriorating. Our bodies are deteriorating every day anyway. Our cells die and they replenish, like your liver is always rejuvenating itself, right? But your body is aging, is dying every day. When people pass away, it's not unless it's an accident, something spontaneous, right? But when they're passing away because of health, is not that moment of a lack of good health, that it's over time. It's over time. So when things are, it's true, ignorance is bliss, because when people are ignorant, they don't have a concern about their actions and what they're doing to themselves or to other people. So we have to be conscious and we have to be aware of ourselves. So that's the verse of the day. And looking at this verse of the day, we have to know that the way is righteous. That's the righteous way. The truth is the light. When you turn the light on, you can see, right? You can see. When the light is off, it's hard for you to see things and find things. But when you turn the light on, guess what? You can find this. I'm in here, my office. The light is on and I can see stuff. The light is coming up. The sun is rising. It's beautiful out here in the eastern part of the U.S. Even though it's cold, you still have to find beauty in where you are and appreciate the things that you do have and not complain or worry about the things that you don't have. So this verse today and the word today and the psalm today is all in alignment. So as I end the psalm today, everyone have a beautiful rest of your day. And remember to stand in love, don't fall in it. It's important to stand in love, not to fall in it. Have a blessed day, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and liking the video, too. I appreciate that. Have a blessed rest of your day. Take good care. Thanks for tuning in and liking the video.